Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachel Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, labor in the word and doctrine. Shalom, meaning peace, may that be unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is in Matthew chapter 6, verse 31 and down. It says, therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High, and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Verse 32, for after all these things do the Gentiles seek. That word for Gentiles is the word ethnos. Right, says a multitude, whether of men or of beasts associating or living together. Truly, in its rawest form, it means, here it says a tribe, nation, people, group. So it just means people, nations. Ethnos means nation. It says here in the OT, foreign nations not worshipping the true God, pagans, Gentiles, and all nations outside of Israel in the OT were dealing with other gods. The Holy Bible is dealing with the Israelites, the Heavenly Father. All the way throughout the book is talking about the nation of Israel. And even, in the NT, but OT here when it's dealing, foreign nations not worshipping the true power. So those other nations not worshipping the true power, seek after the things, or the carnal things, right? The things seen. Let's see if I've got this right. There's Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. It says, if you then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. Right, that word there, dealing with the Father. So Hamashiach, the anointed, the one anointed, Yahushai, right, is sat upon the right hand of the Most High, making intercession, making mediation. Verse 2, so set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. So setting your affection, this word for affection, it's the word phroneo, right, sounds similar to sophroneo, means sober, but phroneo says to have understanding, be wise, to feel, to think, to have an opinion of oneself, think of oneself, to be modest, not let one's opinion, though just of himself, exceed the bounds of modesty. That reminds me of Galatians 6 and 3, talking about if one thinks of himself more highly than he ought to, then is deceived. It says to think or judge what one's opinion is, to be of the same mind, i.e. agree together, cherish the same views, be harmonious, to direct one's mind to a thing, to seek, to strive for, to seek one's interest or advantage, to be of one's party, side with him in public affairs. So our affection, our thoughts, our meditation should be on things above, not on the things on the earth. What does it say? Yeah, above, dealing with the heavenly realm, that is. It says, and are upwards, above, on high, so on and so forth. So set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Right, and that's what we're taught through the Lord's Prayer. This is where the Lord's Prayer was taught. This is all said in the same utterance. Right, so for after all these things that the Gentiles seek, the Heavenly Father knoweth you have need of all these things. Right, so when we're praying to the Heavenly Father, we say it straight up, as it's written here. And it's better to say it in the Hebrew. When you go into the introduction to Sirach, see if I can pull that up. Right, I'm starting from, really it's not one verse, it's a long prologue, but I'm starting, nearly 3/4 of the way through. One sentence here says, "For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language." Right, so how much more so when you're going into the prayers? So Matthew 6 and verse 33 said, "But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." So, the simple things, what we eat, what we drink, what we'll be clothed with, those carnal provisions, will be taken taken care of by the Heavenly Father who knows this, if first you're seeking the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. If you're going out there to please Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he will look after you in the time of tribulation. If you're of the elect, that's the main thing. As it's written here, Isaiah 65 verse 13, "Therefore thus saith Ha'adawan Yahweh, the Lord Most High," right, the Heavenly Father's name, Yahweh. When you see G-O-D there in the capitals, that's the tetragrammaton, and the word Lord goes into Adanya, right, my Lord. That's where "Therefore thus saith Adanya Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed." Right, so the Heavenly Father will look after and look out for his servants. Right, this word for servants now. Ibad, right, that's where you get the term Obadiah, as in the prophet from the book of Obadiah. Ibad, it's a slave servant, manservant, subject, servants, worshippers of the Most High, which that's what it would be there. Servant in special sense as prophets, Levites, etc., servant of Israel. Servant as form of address between equals, which, slave, well, employer and employee are very new words. When you go into a contractual agreement like that, it's a slave and master contract. And the Messiah taught us to be servants one to another, within the ministry. That's why he gave that example of coming with great humility. And that's part of the walk. That's part of the discipline, the discipleship. So let's go into the actual Lord's Prayer, just in the English. I'll close out from there. This is Matthew 6, 8, 6 and 7. "When you pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking." And heathen, is that going to be that word again? Ethnos, Gentiles. So teaching after these other customs, these other nations, the word is actually ethnikos, as you can see there, from. That's the same word we looked up, ethnos. So it's from the same root, but it's the word ethnikos. So it's being conjugated, it's being yoked together in a different way. It says adapted to the genius, going back to genes, adapted to the genius or customs of a people, particular to a people, national, suited to the manners or language of foreigners, strange, foreign, in the NT, savouring of the nature of pagans, alien to the worship of the true God, heathenish of the pagan, the Gentile. It says heathen, once heathen man. Right, when you're cast out, if you didn't hear one, or two or three, then you didn't hear the whole church, you were cast out. It's a heathen man, an ethnikos, and a publican. Right, so these are the nations, these are the ways of going about it. As in, basically worshipping other gods. Do these other things. "When ye pray, use not vain repetitions, not idle, pointless repetitions, as the heathen do, for they think they shall be heard for their much speaking." So it's not about making the most, "Oh, brother, I prayed for 5 hours." We're about to be taught by the Messiah. This is the manner to pray. It says, verse 8, Matthew 6. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him. After this manner therefore pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. So that's in English, that's the Lord's Prayer. That's the way we have to pray. Not sat there 6-7 hours thinking that you're doing or you're being heard because you're speaking a lot, but really it's vain repetition. So Lord willing, that's been edifying. On to the next video, Lord willing. Shalom.